Hey guys, Diamond Dad here. In this video, I have the opportunity to interview a legend, David Feeder. He's an OG Hexagon, OG crypto guy who's going full-time into Pulse validating. And I just ask him all kinds of questions on Pulse, the Pulse network. How does it work? How does delegation work? And hopefully answer a bunch of your questions and my questions around these topics. So without further ado, let's take a look.
What's up, my man?
Hey, bro. Dude, thanks so much.
My pleasure. Yeah, thanks for having me.
First off, one of the main reasons why I wanted to get together with you is because I feel like you and I are the token gingers of the crypto space. So we've got a big baton, to carry as basically the only representation of gingers around. So we need to unite for that. So secondly, you're super chill, which I really like. It's kind of where I'm at. I like people to be chill.
Yeah, me too, right? Yeah. A lot of Hexagons aren't. There's a lot of drama, a lot of shenanigans, especially on Twitter. So yeah, I'm friends with everybody, super chill, right?
Yeah. So I appreciate that about you, man. Awesome. Well,
sweet.
I just have a few questions. Generally, just tell you about me. I try to do mostly content for no coiners. We have a website called Diamond Hand Coaching where we we have coaches, and those coaches help onboard people into Hex. So I kind of try to create a network of coaches, and their whole goal is to onboard people into the Hex ecosystem. So I equip them with tools, websites, all that kind of stuff. They can go out. We do all of our stuff for free. None of us charge. Basically, it's free for us plus tips. If anyone valued our service, they can tip us later, but it's totally up to them. So I try to create as much content as I can around people that are brand new to crypto,
Yeah, the rookies. Yep.
The absolute
rookies.
The best.
No coiners are the best because they don't have any bad habits.
That's exactly what I say, right? Forever I was a manager. I was a barista, and I managed people and I trained people to make coffee. And I live in Washington, so we're all coffee snobs over here. And I was at a high-end coffee shop.
Starbucks, yeah, bro.
Yeah. So I always told people I'd much rather train people with no coffee experience than some coffee experience, because what you have to do with people with some coffee experience is you have to untrain them from all their bad habits before you can actually train them. So just their front door into the heart ecosystem is as good as it gets, in my opinion. I'm sure, obviously you agree, because you're here, you're Hexagon, you're a diehard guy. So today I want to ask them some probably pretty simple questions, but what I'm hoping is you'll be able to answer those in a way that's just helpful, probably better than I can. And I just have questions of stuff that I just straight up don't understand on the technical side of things, which I think you'll be able to help me with. So first off, I just love to hear about you, how'd you get into the crypto thing and kind of your journey there? Shoot whenever you're ready, brother.
Okay. Yeah. I'll keep it super brief. I don't remember exactly when I found out about Bitcoin, 2013. It was like back in the day. It was, Mount Gox. I remember Bitcoin was. I remember when it had no value, right? And I was like, "What is this? What is everybody on about?" And I was young, lived in my parents' basement in college.
Just typing away.
And yeah. I was always a nerd. I went to college for computer networks, so I've always been a nerd, always been a gamer. I feel like that's a huge prerequisite for people who are into crypto. If you played a lot of games as a kid, if now you're in your mid 30s now, this rings a bell to you. You played World of Warcraft 15 years ago, right? That's sort of a lot of this crowd. Yeah, I don't remember how, but started mining a little bit at home, just on my CPUs and video cards, especially, right? The pool I was on got hacked. Mount Gox got hacked. It all went to crap. And then I forgot about it for a little while, right? Mm-hmm. Come back 2016, and things are starting to heat up again. I bought Dash for $7. Sold one for a buddy for a sandwich at work. Dash goes to over 1,000. Wow. Learned that lesson. So humble beginnings. I didn't have much, but I was watching Richard since 2017. So in that regard, I was just I was subbed to the right people. I watch a lot of YouTube, but that's how I learn. And I found Richard way back in the day, and I've watched every video ever since. So I waited 2 years before Hex was launched after he had the idea.
Wow.
I was there day one FOMO. I dollar cost averaged over the first few months.
Mm-hmm.
And then my claim to fame was by October of 2021, when Hex hit a penny. I made that thank you video to Richard, and he put it on hex.com/testimonials. I was basically crying because I made more money off of like a couple $100. I paid off all my student loans for like 40 grand.
Yep.
So I never had that much money in my whole life. So
yes,
Hex, really, I went from zero to hero because of Richard and Hex.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's, you've gone higher and further than I ever imagined.
Yep. That's awesome. So you're like, not only you OG Hex game, but you're like OG crypto guy. Next question is like, why is decentralization important to you?
Well, I'm going to just parrot Richard on this one, and I'll apply it to blockchains. The only reason you need a blockchain and decentralization is for censorship resistance.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. A blockchain is just a database, right? The Microsoft SQL database, you can like download for free. You can get the express version for free. You could run that on your computer, and that's way faster than a blockchain. What's the difference between that is nobody wants to shut down your Microsoft SQL. Nobody cares that you have that. Mm-hmm. Whereas Bitcoin, Ethereum, Pulse Chain, people in governments, they do care. They don't want you using that stuff, so they're going to try to shut you down. That's why decentralization is important. There's a copy living on everybody's computers, so nobody can stop the network, no matter how hard they try. That's why decentralization is important, especially as we lose more and more of our free speech and rights every day. This becomes even more important, but it's all about censorship resistance, in my opinion.
Yep. Good. That's awesome, dude. And while we're on this topic, could you just explain a blockchain? Like, just try to make it as easy as possible, like to help me understand just like, what is a blockchain? How does it work? Like, what do you mean decentralized, living on multiple computers? Like, can you explain that in a way that would help me make sense of it?
Yeah. Like, did you know like Microsoft Excel with the spreadsheets?
It's a spreadsheet, of course. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just like a Microsoft Excel file, right? Like one file, except it's just a copy on everybody's computer. And the software keeps them all linked up together. So if you make a change on one person's computer to the Excel file, that change spreads to all the others. That's what Bitcoin is. It's just an Excel spreadsheet that everybody shares.
Interesting. Okay, so I mean, obviously, I know what a blockchain is. I'm trying to break this down for my audience, but that's a super interesting way to explain it. I've never really thought about that. So instead of like a living organism kind of thing, as I've always thought about it, like a blockchain, instead it's just like a copy. And that, so basically anyone who hosts a node, like how do you host a copy exactly? Like how does that work?
Yeah. We'll use Bitcoin as the example because Bitcoin is the simplest. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you could just go to bitcoin.org and you download the Bitcoin core software. Mm-hmm. You just double click it and run it. And then it says, hey, would you like to install? You say yes, just like a regular program. It asks what folder do you want to install? And then it starts. And then your computer goes out to the other ones and it downloads that Excel file, the blockchain, and it gets all the little pieces it needs. And now you have a copy. And then there's rules. All the computers, to keep it fair, they all talk to each other and they all make sure everybody's got the same Excel spreadsheet. Mm-hmm. And that's it. It just keeps it honest. And then all the computers do it all themselves.
And you obviously can't go in there and edit that file in any way.
Correct. That's against the rules because then the other computers would know that your computer cheated. Mm-hmm. Like your version of the Excel spreadsheet doesn't match everybody else's, so yours is wrong. Sorry. You have to have consensus. Mm-hmm. They have to agree.
And that, in order to get consensus, it has to come from a specific source. Correct? So that would be like if I'm trying to like on MetaMask when I'm working with Ethereum and I'm processing a transaction. That's what the validators are doing, is it's validating that it's coming from a source that, like, making a change to the copy. Is that kind of how it works? Like, how does it know it's coming from the right source in order to make that change on all the computers? That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, there's a mathematical formula for that, and that's where like the blocks come in and the miners come in. Because when a miner when it mines the next block, it says, "Hey, I got the answer to the next line on the Excel spreadsheet." And then it says, "Hey guys, can you guys check my math to make sure it's right? 2 + 2 = 4." And then all the other computers go, "Oh yeah, you're right. 2 + 2 does equal 4. Go ahead, add that to the spreadsheet," and they all agree.
Yes, interesting. So that's the difference between just straight up hosting a node, which would be like a copying of the thing, and then the actual validators or miners, as we know them in the Bitcoin network. Those miners are the ones that are validating those transactions. That they're someone's trying to make a change to the spreadsheet. So I want to change the numbers in my MetaMask, which would be a change, right? So I want to make that change to all of your spreadsheets. So I put that out to the network, and then all those people out there are going to say, well, actually, no, you didn't make that change. So we know that. Or yes, you did make that change. As the network, the miners, they're going to punch the numbers and say, yes, make the change. That change officially then changes over in everyone's computers. Very helpful. Very helpful.
And that's why you have to pay gas on Ethereum. You have to pay that miner for you to be able to update it with what you want. So you got to like bribe them. You got to say, "Hey man, here's $5. Can you add this line to the blockchain for me?" And then the miners crank it out and do it. Yep. That's why you pay.
Interesting. So we're talking about miners right now, which is interesting. Can you explain the difference between let's do this road just because I think it'll be helpful. The difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Like, how are those two blockchains different, and why is one better than the other, and why do we use Ethereum and not Bitcoin?
Okay. We'll start with how they're similar. So Bitcoin and Ethereum they do proof of work. In order for the miners to add the next line to the Excel spreadsheet, they have to guess these math equations, and they're really hard. And you're either using, for Bitcoin, you got those ASIC miners that you buy, those boxes. And then for Ethereum, you got video cards in your computer. And they guess this math equation over and over and over, and they're trying to guess the right answer. So that's proof of work, right? And then you've got big factories and all like stuff behind me. They're all trying to guess the numbers so they can get the next block. So that's proof of work. That's how a lot of the older ones work, and it's fine, but it's very wasteful.
Electricity, just you go down the road of all that stuff.
Yeah, and the actual metal itself and the plastics, and you got to get it shipped here, and I got to build a data center and all these racks. Super expensive, super wasteful. Okay, it's a lot of money for what? Yeah. So with Pulse Chain, we're moving to proof of stake. We're not going to do this mining anymore. We don't need all these servers to guess. We're only going to have 33 servers that take turns mining the blocks. And it's very easy. The math equation is like 1 + 1 = 2. And so that way there's no time wasted. So that's where we're going soon. That's the future, is proof of stake.
So then where the disconnect for me is, okay, so now we have Pulse. We have 33 validators. Like, so obviously you're trying to be a validator, and this is one of the things that I want to figure out. But there's 33 of them, and the way I understand it, it's only the top 33 biggest wallets. And those top 33 biggest wallets can validate, but you're saying that only one server validates at a time. So didn't you have to invest in some things? Like, I know you probably don't have like what's in your picture, but you have something that you have to do this work on. That's where I'm just kind of confused on exactly how that works. Can you just flesh that out just a little bit for me when it comes to Pulse?
Yeah, totally. And this is why Pulse is so much more electricity efficient. Like, for me to be a validator, I only need one server, just like minimum. I'm going to have redundancy, and I'm going to have more than one location. But literally, all you need is one computer, one server at a time, and I run the Pulse Chain software. And what happens is, you already said it. There's 33 of us. Whoever's got the biggest wallet and whoever has the most votes of Pulse, right? Like, because you can take your wallet and you can vote for me. So now it's like my wallet plus your wallet is how high I'm ranked. So you want to get the most votes.
Yep. And I want to talk about that too here. We'll go back to that, but continue.
Yep. So let's just pretend I'm number one, right? I've got the most votes, and then there's 32 other guys below me. Then we go and this is what's cool about Pulse Chain is there's just 33 servers and they all take turns. And mining the next block is very easy. The math equation is very simple. So it's like it's my turn, then the next guy does it, then the next guy, and we go around in a circle. And then once all the other 32 have taken a turn, it's my turn again. And we just keep going around mining blocks one at a time. We each take a turn.
Which is different because the way I understand Bitcoin is people are competing. Is that correct? To actually competing to mine the blocks instead of it being a turn-based thing like we have here in Pulse. And so Bitcoin is proof of work. I always confuse this. What is Pulse Chain actually?
So Pulse Chain is actually it's delegated proof of stake. So it's DPoS.
Okay, delegated, and that delegation comes in because of the turn taking, basically.
The delegation is delegating is actually like if you vote for me.
Okay.
That's the D. So that means people can vote. Look at that, aren't miners, right? So you can vote, and then it's proof of stake, and then that proof of stake is who's got the bigger wallet in a server.
Interesting. So we understand the OA has like this massive wallet of Pulse, right? So do we think that like the OA is going to be participating in these servers, or is it going to be like primarily these whales that competed on like the rankings, or what do you think about that?
Well, all I know is that from the test net, Richard and the developer team, it's not even the OA, it is Richard, right?
Yeah.
Because he's the founder. Richard and the devs, they run the first 3 validators for the test net. They're going to do the same for mainnet. They run 3. They spawn the Genesis block. So they're literally going to like, it's going to be born, right? They have to like start it. They start the fire. They like get the kindling, they get those first 3 and they let it run. Then the guys like me and the rest of us, we join them after, and then we get the blockchain and then we join the circle. But it has to be Richard to start because that's how it gets spawned. That's called the Genesis block.
And that's the fork? Is that kind of the same thing happening there?
Correct. Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. Richard and the devs, they take Ethereum, they copy, they paste it, and then they take 33 validators and then it starts. Yep.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. The spark and the kindling, starting the fire. It's like they go over to the Ethereum network and they kind of like, grab like a little coal, and they like take it over. It just happens to have all the information that we want, They're like, oh, thank you very much.
Exactly. It's like taking fire.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. That's awesome. Super helpful. Okay, so one thing that was always very confusing to me when it comes to validating. So this is like my network and stuff like that. We're not Pulse whales, but we do like we'll have some Pulse to delegate, and all of us are very interesting in not selling and actually delegating our Pulse. And you are the primary person that I've been the most interested in as far as delegation goes. But what I don't understand is like, how does that work? Like, okay, I understand that I can vote for you, but we know that I'm also not going to give you my Pulse because that would completely defeat the purpose of, what I call the hard standard is like not your keys, not your coins. So I'm not going to give you my Pulse. So do you like plug into my wallet, or like, how does that work for delegation, like on a technical basis?
Yep. So literally there's actually just a website and it's up right now on the testnet. It's called like stake.v2.pulsechain.com. And it's just a list of all the validators and their statistics. And then there's a little button over on the side. And if you just pick which one you want, and then you use MetaMask and you vote. So it's just a regular old website. And you just click vote. It says, how much Pulse would you like to vote for this guy? Well, I'll do 1,000. Click.
You don't have to do your whole bag. You could break it up if you wanted to.
You could break it up. You can vote for one or all the validators.
Hmm.
You can add to your vote later. You can take away from your vote later. Yep. And the coins never leave your wallet.
Mm-hmm.
This is just voting. So when you vote, actually, your coins get locked in your wallet.
Mm.
So even if a hacker got into your wallet later, but they didn't understand you were voting, your coins are stuck. They couldn't even move them if they wanted to. So it almost adds a level of security. Like your coins are frozen in your own wallet.
Yeah, but they could technically go and unlock it
yes,
technically, right? Wow, super interesting. So I'm not actually like, you're not technically plugged. Like, so what I thought is you had to use my pulse to validate, but that's not technically what's happening. We're just, every pulse that I have counts as one vote, and I can go around and vote for as many people as I want. So why do I want to delegate, and why would I want to delegate to you? So like, how do the benefits work? Like, I know I can get some sort of yield from that, like in the form of pulse, but is that something you set up, or how does that work?
Yeah. Yep. So for my validator server,
mm-hmm.
I have to go to the same website, and I have to like sign up,
mm-hmm.
right, as a validator. When I sign up, I get to pick how much of my fees for every block that I mine, we get the fees, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get to pick how much of that am I going to share with the people who vote for me. And let's pretend 50-50,
mm-hmm.
right? When I mine a block, I'll keep half for me, and then I'll give half to everybody who votes for me. So then, the servers, they start doing their thing. I start mining blocks. And then if you voted for me, you get half of the fees that I make. So basically every day you're getting, if you're just holding your pulse anyway, and you vote for me,
mm-hmm.
every day you get a little bit extra pulse. I share with you what I mine every day. Mm-hmm. So if you're holding anyway and you got diamond hands and you're relaxing, this gives you an opportunity to earn more pulse literally for free. You don't even have to do any work. You just vote and you get extra pulse every day.
And that 50-50 is not split between, like, if I'm delegating to you, it's not like you get 50% and then that 50% is actually split amongst all of the people that are delegating to you, correct? Kind of like the inflation pool in Hex, right? Like if it was just me staking, I would get all of the staking rewards. But unfortunately, there's a lot more than just me staking. So then that inflation reward gets distributed evenly amongst all of the stakers that are attached to the pool. Is that similar to that 50% would actually be split amongst all the people that are voting for you?
That's exactly how it works.
Okay. Super interesting.
Yep. That's exactly it. You nailed it right on the head.
Okay. Super, super cool. So this has been super helpful. Like, thank you so much for taking the time. Fun. Good. Here's one question that I've had, and they've asked Richard, and Richard always says, I don't know. I'll have to talk to my devs. So I understand that there's a way to, like, for you, if you mess up or something, like something happens, like you can get slashed. This is all stuff I don't quite understand. Like you can take some sort of hit or something. So can you explain what that means? And then also, can you explain, like, if I'm a validator with you, do I also take a hit? And what does that mean? And am I at danger to validating, if that makes sense?
Yep. So So I do have some details on this, and I have great news on this. So validators like me and delegators like you, people who vote, we will never lose our pulse, right? It never gets subtracted from your wallet. There's no risk. You'll never. It's called getting slashed.
Mm-hmm.
Where but it gets deleted out of your wallet, you lose money. Pulse Chain doesn't do that.
Mm.
The worst that happens is if I go offline as a validator, let's say my server breaks, or I lose internet. It's like, now I'm not mining blocks.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is I get skipped, and the other guys are going to take my turn. And then if I'm offline for like an hour or two, the penalty is I don't get to make any more money for the rest of the day. You lose all your mining rewards for the rest of the day. If I'm offline for like 6 hours or 12 hours, then I lose another day's mining rewards or another day's. So really it just penalizes you in the future. So it just takes away your future earnings for a certain amount of time. It's not even that like, the penalties aren't that bad. It's just like a couple hours a day. 2 days.
You don't work. You're not working. You're not getting paid.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's it. Yep.
Totally.
And
That makes sense.
if you're off long enough, you might even rack up a bunch of like naughty time. So I might have to do the next 2 days for free mining. I'm still losing, and I got to burn off those penalties.
Got it. So then the 33 people, it's a competition not to validate the blocks, but it's a competition to stay at that 33. Is that correct? So say
Correct.
that you're at spot 33, and there's someone right behind you who wants to be a validator, and they get a whale that sponsors that person. At that point, do you just get kicked down and you can't validate anymore, and that person is now slot 33, and then my delegated pulse is not earning anything, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, well, everyone's just going to take away their position and put it to this guy. Is that like how it works?
Correct. If you get knocked to 34th place or 35th, your server's up and running, people voted for you, and you're not making anything. You're literally sitting on the bench waiting for a turn. Yeah.
Okay, so you gotta go out there, you gotta hustle. It's like a popularity contest.
It is,
Vote for David.
That's why I tried to be, as soon as I found out about this, I tried to be one of the first public people to say, hey, vote for me, I'll do it.
Yeah, smart, dude. I mean,
yeah.
I've been around since Pulse Sacrifice, thankfully, and obviously you've jumped up. The first stream I ever watched about Hex, you were in it. I think it was because I wasn't lucky like you. I didn't find out about Richard or anything like that until way late, but one of the first streams, it was like oh geez, what was it? It was like Moon Boys versus Quant Gang or something, but there was like a big stream with, I think, the Quant Gang guys and like Kareem, and I remember Gerardo was on there, you were on there, and you had like the green screen behind you with like the ripped dude with the Hex tattoo. I can't remember if it's your face or Richard's face, but
it's Richard. Funny.
Yeah. So that was like my first intro into like Hex YouTube, and I was like, this is insane. These people are crazy. I remember that was like the first, because I'm starting to learn, like, you guys are talking about all kinds of stuff, and I'm like, I have no idea what these people are talking about. So it kind of put me on this, just I can be super nerdy about stuff. I think that's one of the things that Hexkins, like, one of the things that separates Hexkins from other communities is we really believe in the do your own research. And then when we're doing our own research, we can be just like incredibly nerdy about it. Like, nonstop, like eyes bleeding, bloodshot eyes. We're like, oh my gosh, I have to watch another whale stream and they're so long.
It's 6 a.m. and you're still clicking and reading. Oh yeah.
Yep, totally. Super, super, super helpful. Also really good news about no one getting slashed. Cause I mean, yeah, for those who are watching this video, like if you have Pulse and you're holding Pulse and you're not planning to sell it and you're not planning on extracting value, and I understand there's other ways around, right? Liquid loans, and there's other ways to extract value, but it's an absolute no-brainer to validate, to be a valid, well, what is it actually called? It's called delegation.
Delegator. Yeah, you want to be a delegator.
Yes. You're the validator, I'm the delegator. It's a no-brainer. You want to delegate your Pulse, because if you're in the Heart ecosystem, right? If you're a part of this network, what we're all about over here is about yield, right? Number go up is great, but what I like to say, number go up good, magic money printer better, right? So we're in Hex, not just because number go up, obviously because you can have what's happened the last 6 months, number go down, right? Kind of sucks, but hey, if you have staked your money, then you don't have to worry about it, and you're making money every single day. So very similar to Pulse. If you're holding Pulse and you're not looking at selling it, then delegating your Pulse is pretty much a no-brainer. And I mean, I'm going to be delegating to you, David, because I just like you, and
appreciate the support.
Yeah, you seem to know what you're doing, and you obviously have been taking steps to not go offline and to have a good product and all that kind of stuff. So I appreciate that. I appreciate all the hard work you're doing. So good job, man.
Oh, thanks. My pleasure. Yeah, I appreciate the support. And this is basically free yield, right?
Seriously.
The only thing it costs you is when you first cast your vote, there's like a gas fee, just like on Ethereum, right? But it's going to be in Pulse, so it's going to be less than a penny. So you got to spend a little bit of gas to vote, and then you get free yield every day. This is awesome. This is huge.
Yeah, it's incredible. All right, this is one of the things that I'm just trying to explain to people, like what's about to happen in let's say 6 months, because we just want to be conservative. What's about to happen in 6 months? We're going to be able to make so much. It's like video game money is on the horizon, as far as just like, hey, you want more money and not have to just rely on money go up. Like, we are about to be looking at so many options for free money outside of just Hex. And what I like is risk-free yield, right? So some of this risk-free yield is coming. One of the risks that we have to take with Hex is you have to take the risk that Hex is going to be around in 10 years. You have to take the risk that cryptocurrency is going to be a thing in 15 years. That's a risk, right? I mean, I don't care who you are. I believe it's going to be around. I believe it's going to be bigger than ever. Obviously, most of us do, or we're not going to be putting out our money for 15 years. One of the cool things about Pulse is it's a relatively low risk yield that you're not, and maybe I'm confused here, but as far as delegation works, I'm not locking up my Pulse for 15 years, right? Well, that's actually a good question. What is the actual like minimum length? And do I get bonuses for for more length? Or do I just like put it in, take it out, and that's my prerogative?
Yeah, there's no time block.
Mm-hmm.
So you can put it in and you can take it out whenever you want. The only one rule is when you first vote, like let's say you vote for my server, there's a 24-hour cooldown until your vote kicks in. Mm. So your vote really doesn't go active, just like your Hex stake. Mm-hmm. If you make a Hex stake, you got to wait till the next day for it to actually lock in. Same with a Pulse vote. You just got the next day it locks in, and then you're mining, you're delegating, and we're cooking. And then the unlock is instant. You can say, okay, I'm done voting. Click. Here's all your Pulse. Enjoy. Good luck.
Dang.
So there's no waiting.
That's so cool, man. That's so cool. I was one of the things I was thinking about is I just minted a bunch of my Hedron. And, I'm like up, waiting for gas prices. And I got like between 15 and 20 gwei, right? So each one of my transactions were between like $6 and $8 for every one of my stakes, right? So, but here's the thing. I ran, you still have to run multiple transactions, right? I'm running multiple transactions at $6 to $8. That still adds up, right? What we have to understand is $6 to $8 is like as good as it's ever going to get on Ethereum. And I'm running transactions on the test network, and those transactions are like 0.00008 like 8 a pulse of T Pulse. So like our transactions on Pulse are literally going to cost pennies.
Like dust, like a fraction of a penny. Like how do you quantify 0.00008 of a penny? Like it's nothing. It's dust.
It's insane. So we've gotten accustomed to $50 gas fees, and then when we're rewarded with an $8 gas fee, it's like the greatest day ever. But what we're about to experience is not $8 gas fees, but like literally, like you're saying, like dust fees, like basically free, right?
Basically free. You'll be able to do probably the first year of Pulse Chain, probably cost you less than $1.
Yep.
And you can do all the transactions you want. Like, that could be hundreds of thousands for $1.
Yep.
Man. That's game changer.
So cool. And it's hard to see a future where Pulse Chain doesn't get adoption. Obviously, we don't know, and we will never know until Pulse goes live and we see how it works. But it's hard to see a world where Pulse Chain doesn't get adoption. We know the Hexicans are going to be loving that bad boy, so we'll be all up in there. But as far as just like, all the stuff that's being built on top of it, I'm a huge fan of Hedron. I've done a ton of research on it. I really like it. I'm a huge fan of liquid loans. I haven't really dove into Mint. What is it, Mintra? But I
Mintra?
I just love the fact that people are trying to go out there and create things, and those things are going to drive traffic to Pulse Chain. And people just need to understand, like, we should be encouraging these kind of projects. And if you don't like them, that's fine. Like, just don't like them. But one of the points I tried to make in a few videos ago is that the way the network effect works is the network effect works on both positive and negative affirmation, right? So when the network effect gets a bunch of positive affirmation, like everyone is so stoked about Hex and we had green candles, it creates more green candles. But the reality is that when we're doing the negative side of thing and everyone's attacking each other and attacking other projects and just constant negativity, those red candles begot red candles, right? So it's like the best thing you can do if you don't like something, just be quiet. It's okay. Or at least try to produce something that is a valuable piece of information that's well researched, that has, it's not just baseless opinions. And then you can present facts of saying, hey, these are the reasons why this may be not a good idea for those other people. And that's kind of where I'm at with that. You had something to say there.
You're right. Especially about the price, green candles beget green candles. And Richard calls that reflexive systems. Like, why the price go up? Well, because the price went up and more people bought. So the price went up and more people bought. Same when it goes down. People sold because people sold, and they're fighting on Twitter. There's fear and there's FUD and everybody's scared, and 10 cents, 8 cents, 7 cents. Oh no, it's over. I will tell people though, during those, and this is counterintuitive. This is the hard part. When you've got that FUD and you got that fear, like right now, the hex is going down and down and down. That's when you got to be buying more. That's when you need to be greedy. You got to flip the script in your own head and say, wait, everybody's scared and everybody's selling. I need to back up the truck. I need to buy that cheap hex. Gimme, gimme, gimme. That's when you get rich. That's when you buy. Then 6 months later, green candles and green candles. Oh, we're going to be millionaires. We're all going to make it. Everybody's going to be rich. That's when you need to be selling. That's when you need to be selling your coins, saying, here you go, guys. You want these expensive coins? Here you go. Take them. So it's counterintuitive, but you got to do the opposite of what the crowd is doing in order to win.
Yeah, that's incredibly good advice from someone who's been around in crypto since 2013. So take that advice to the bank, people. Like, listen to this guy. He knows what he's talking about. Okay, so now I just want to get into the world of a little bit of fun stuff here. And let's be crystal clear, this is not financial advice and that we're just having fun. This is just opinions. But in your, like, as far as the hard ecosystem, we have Hex, we have Pulse, we have PulseX. In 2 years, what are you most bullish on?
As far as like price or like,
just raw price appreciation. You're like, or just adoption, or like, man, I just think that this has incredible fundamentals, and I'm just like, this is the one I think that'll probably outperform everything else 2 years from now.
My gut tells me Pulse Chain, PLS. Yeah, that's what I'm most bullish on. That's because that's like our new Ethereum, right? I'm very bullish on that. That's the secret sauce, man. Like, that's the gas, that's the oil, that's the lifeblood of our new blockchain. Yeah, you gotta have that. You gotta, that's what I'm super bullish on, because eventually, it'll be pennies or dust to do transactions at first for gas. 2 years, maybe not. Maybe it's a nickel. Maybe it's a dime. Maybe it's 25 cents to do a transaction. But if that's the case, and you got the Pulse chain from 2 years ago and you got a big bag of coins, you're probably going to be pretty happy. Even if you're paying a quarter for a transaction, you're going to have a lot of money. So Pulse is where I believe it's at.
Yep. Yeah. I agree. Like, so I really like PulseX. I think it's awesome. I think it's incredible. I think it's amazing. But it's super crazy to think, right, when you sacrifice with Pulse a year ago or whatever it was now, and we saw, what was the original before the OA stepped in? It was like 500 million or something.
Yeah, that's about right. Yep.
And in my mind, I was like, that's so many people. Like, this is crazy. like this thing is going to be so, there's going to be so much pulse, right? It's like, this is crazy. Now, I understand how the OA works. I understand how decentralized exchanges works. I understand how it's all about centralized. It's all about the actual circulating tokens that gives things value. So I know that like the inflation, the amount of coins doesn't really matter as much as people think, but that's just where I was at when I was participating in Pulse. Like, this is going to be cool, but now when you flash forward, 6, 7 months, 8 months or whatever it is now, and then you get to the PulseX sacrifice, and you see the amount of FOMO that's happening in PulseX. start to realize how valuable your pulse is that you sacrificed for, especially if you got it in the 10,000 to 1, or I wish I was smart enough to think about pools back then, but I wasn't, so I didn't get quite the bonus that I had this year, but for PulseX. But one of the things that PulseX helped me realize is that I think the value consensus of the network right now is that Pulse is more valuable than PulseX, because people are FOMOing into PulseX like crazy. And that, just like you're saying, that helps me think that I think that there's a value in Pulse right now, even with its perceived value, but that's literally all crypto is, And I think that's one thing that is people struggle to get over, is like, they don't understand that like perceived value is value, right? It's like, okay, Richard talks about this stuff all the time. I got these Star Wars figurines behind me, and it's like perceived value is what it's valued. And that's like the most important thing in cryptocurrency is perceived value. Now, inherent value is great because inherent value supports perceived value, like Hex. Hex has both. Hex has perceived value and it has inherent value because you have T shares, and that's inherited value. Pulse has similar because we can actually delegate it now, which I'm really excited about, but most of it is perceived value. And that perceived value to me makes more sense, just like you're saying, because of it being the oil. One thing Richard mentions, though, is he does mention that layer 2 tends to outperform layer 1. But I think that's a legacy mindset. And because he talks about, Netflix versus, your cable provider. Netflix is more valuable. But, I'd love to get your take on this. I think that only comes with time. And I feel like blockchains move so fast that it never has time for the layer 2 to outperform layer 1, because eventually Pulse is, and you can speak into this, Pulse will fill up and we'll have to fork it again, right? Like that's the way of the future. Am I incorrect when I think that?
I agree. I think you're right. I completely agree with everything you said, actually. Mm-hmm. Yes. I think you're spot on. One of the things you sort of mentioned it is, for the original Pulse chain sacrifice last year, there was like 50,000 wallets, $500 million. At the time, it seemed big. It was like, man, everybody got into this. There's a lot of people sacrificed, really popular. And then the PulseX sacrifice, which just finished a couple weeks ago, was even bigger. That had 75,000 wallets and $1 billion. So almost half, 50% more wallets, people, and double the money. So yeah, there's going to be way more coins, way more people. You're way more diluted. The PulseX coins are going to be worth less at first than Pulse chain coins, right? And even Richard has floated the idea out in his streams. He's saying if you missed Pulse chain, but you sacrificed for PulseX, maybe before the bridge opens to Ethereum, you can sell your PulseX to buy some Pulse chain. I expect that ratio to be one of the ones that changes the biggest, where Pulse chain is going to be worth more than PulseX coins. If that's going to be a huge opportunity. So I think you're going to be able to, I'm personally not playing either. I'm not trading one coin for the other, but I know people who are. So, and PulseX is kind of like uni tokens. It's a voting token. It's a DAO token. You can vote with it. It's okay. That's cool. But like, Pulse chain is the oil. It's the Ethereum. It's the gas. That's the good stuff. So I think we both are sort of on the same page here with this one.
Yeah, and I mean, I am really bullish on PulseX, like just for full transparency. Just, I mean, with like the new yielding stuff that's coming up, like the free yield and the buy and burn and like all that stuff, I'm super bullish on it. Like I love it. Like I don't, I want this to be crystal clear. I don't think it's a bad hold at all.
Yeah, as an exchange, and I think the people need to separate the PulseX.com and the exchange where you can go swap and you can do liquidity providing and all that is different from the coin PLSX.
Yep.
Right. So like I'm super bullish on the exchange. Like that's where all the liquidity is going to be. That's where you'll be able to get the best deals. I'm personally going to bridge in my US dollar coins from Ethereum so I can spend them on PulseX because I think those are going to be really valuable there. So super bullish on the website itself.
Cool. And last fun question. Perfect. Wanted this to be about an hour. So Again, thank you so much for joining me. This has been tons of fun, super helpful. Just future mindset. I have kids. I have 3 kids, and I am the Diamond Dad for a reason. I love being a dad. It's like the greatest thing ever. So one of the reasons why I am so excited about what's happening now is because I'm thinking about the future, right? And the future to me is decentralization. I think that we are in a world right now where censorship and just the central bank, and you just go down the road that things don't look good. And I think that the only solution is decentralization. And this is the phrase I use. I'm not interested in I won't. I'm interested in I can't, right? Because the problem with I won't, and when I mean I won't, is I won't censor you, right? Like we have all these new things popping up that say, I won't censor you. Well, somebody shows up to your house and knocks on your door and has a check for $100 million. I won't becomes I will very, very quickly, right? So what I'm interested in is I'm not interested in I won't, but I can't. And I think that blockchain technology is the only thing that's providing that option. So this is a long setup, but why do you think what we're doing now is important for where we're going in the future? That's the question. Why do you think what we're doing now, all the work you're doing, all the effort, all the time, all the money you're spending on being a validator for Pulse, why do you think that matters for the future?
Yeah, I like the way you put that. Yeah, I think because I can't censor you. That's what we're all interested in, right? That's what this decentralization is all about. So that way, we're redefining finance. Basically, we're going to replace finance with I can't censor your financial transactions and choices. Period. Right? Like the Federal Reserve, JP Morgan Chase, all the banks. The Federal Reserve notes in your dollar, like. We're going to replace all that. That's going bye-bye. That's old technology, and it's dangerous, deadly technology. People lose their lives over that every day. So we're building the decentralized future of crypto, so you can have sovereign money that's in your control. Nobody can take it from you. Nobody can censor you. That's the future we're building. That's why I'm doing this. That's, I think, why we're all here.
Really, really good, man. I appreciate that closing thought. So again, David, it's been awesome hanging out with you. It's been a ton of fun just getting to know another.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me. This is a lot of fun. Yeah, totally.
Cool, man. So I try to take weekends off just to spend time with my family. So I'll probably get this edited and out on Monday. Yeah, dude, it's been awesome. So I appreciate you, and looking forward to the video, and I really, really appreciate you, man. Last question. Do you think we're close, or do you think we're still far away as far as Pulse Main?
Oh, now we're close. Now we're getting closer.
Okay.
Oh yeah. This was like the key I was waiting for, to say we're getting close, guys. This feels real good. Real good. We could be out before the end of April, 6 weeks. We're getting close. We're in the, I forget what that football term is, but we're at the 20-yard line.
We're in the red zone.
We're in the red zone, dude. We're in the red zone. Oh yeah. It's first down. We're in the red zone.
Cool.
We're going to score soon.
Cool. All right. Awesome, Dave. We'll super fun chat with you, brother. I'm going to go make some bacon and eggs for the fam. So appreciate you, brother.
Hey man, my pleasure. Anytime. And if you ever want to talk again in the future, you know where to find me. I'll be around.
I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to maybe circle back around when Pulse is live and maybe get you another push for getting you more validators. So or
appreciate
more
that.
Delegators. Got to get that language correct. So
yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah, we could show off the website. We could teach people how to do it, how to vote, how to determine. There's even going to be situations where it might not be the best deal for you to vote for me based on how much Pulse you have. You might be better off voting for somebody else.
Cool.
So we'll have to break down how to determine how to get the most yield for Pulse chain delegating.
Yes, that would be awesome. Very, very good idea. So let's put that on the calendar, and Pulse is live. We'll make a video all about delegating and how to do it the best way. So love that idea.
Hope it soon. Oh yeah, totally.
All right, brother. We'll see you. We'll see you soon.
All right, man. Have a good one. Thanks again.
See you, brother.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So there you have it, David Feeder, the legend. Thank you so much for taking the time out to do that interview. As always, like, subscribe, share, do all of those annoying things. I'm about 200 view hours away from being able to demonetize my content. So if you guys find this valuable, I'm trying to remove commercials as soon as possible. I've also included my Ethereum address below where you can support what we're doing here at Diamond Hand Coaching and the Diamond Dad channel. Again, thank you guys so much. Until next time, I would encourage you to upgrade your gray matter because one day it may matter. This is the Diamond Dad, and I'm signing off.